So our learning target for today is I can add a mixed number and a fraction. So yesterday we were using that word estimate to find possible close answers that were about the same size. Today we are looking for the exact answer. So I'm going to start with our fraction 3/8 plus 3/8. We've been adding fractions together for a few weeks now. We know that we don't add the units or the denominator, we're only adding the numerator. So in this case, 3/8 plus 3/8 is equal to 6/8. We can show that using a tape diagram or a number bond. Today we're going to add one more step to it, one more piece, and that's the mixed number and a fraction element. So if I wrote the equation 2 3/8 plus 3/8, the only change to my answer is that I'm going to keep this whole number the same. I'm going to start. I have a whole number here. I don't have another whole number here, which means I still have two wholes, or two ones. And now, just like I did before, I'm adding my 3/8 together, which is equal to 6/8. Pretty straightforward. We're just looking to add our fractions. If we don't have two whole numbers, we're just keeping our ones or our wholes and bringing it over, and then we're adding our fractions. But there's going to be another step for many of the fractions that you see. So today, the second problem we're going to do, and we'll do two more in the video, and then we'll try two on our own. We're going to have 5 2/4, and we're going to add 3/4 to that. So we have 5 2/4 plus 3/4. What is that equal to? Well, again, I have my whole number here. I don't have a whole number over here, so I can just bring that 5 right on over. I still have 5 ones or 5 wholes. And now I'm going to add my fractions. Again, my units or my denominator is going to stay the same. So that's going to stay as 4. I can add my numerator. 2 plus 3 is 5. And so my answer when I add 5 2/4 plus 3/4 is 5 5/4. But what I'm noticing is with my fraction, I have an improper fraction because my numerator is larger than my denominator. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use a number bond to break that apart. I know that I can fit 4 into 5 without going over once. I can fit 4/4 or 1 whole. And I know that I have 1/4 remaining because 4/4 plus 1/4 is 5/4. Now I need to turn this improper fraction into a mixed number, but I can't forget about my whole. So here I have 1 whole, and I know that I can just add my whole numbers. So I have 5 wholes here, and if I add my 5 wholes with my 1 whole, I'll have 6. And then I have my fraction remaining, 6 1/4. So my answer is yes, it's 5 5/4. But as a mixed number that doesn't have an improper fraction, it's also equivalent or the same as 6 1/4. So that's actually my final answer, 6 1/4. I need to change that improper fraction into a mixed number. So 6 1/4 is the same amount as 5 5/4, but it's just showing it as a mixed number without an improper fraction. I'm going to show one more, and then we'll try it on our own. The next one we're going to try is 7 2/5 plus 4/5. Our units or our denominator are the same, so we can add. Our first step is to bring our whole number over. I see that I have a 7 here. I don't have a whole number here, so I'm just going to add that 7 to the side, and now I can add my fractions. Again, my units is fifths. That's not going to change. I don't add anything with my denominator. I leave it the same. I'm going to do 2 plus 4 and add my numerators, which will be equal to 6. And again, I'm looking at my answer. I have 7 wholes and 6/5. Now I'm seeing that again I have an improper fraction. So I'm going to choose to use the number bond. That's the strategy I've been using that I feel comfortable with. If you'd rather use a number line or any other strategy we've talked about, that's okay as well. So I know that I can fit one whole in 6/5. 5/5 is equal to one whole. And if I were to add another 5/5, I would have 10/5, and that would be too many because I only have 6/5 here. So now 5/5 plus 1/5 is equal to 6/5. Because 5 plus 1 is 6, our denominator stays the same. Again, I'm going to circle my whole number, which is 5/5, and that was a sloppy 5. I'm going to fix that. But I'm going to circle my whole number, which was 5/5, and I'm going to add it back to the whole number I already had. So 5/5, which is equal to 1, and I can remind myself that. And I'm going to add 7 plus 5/5, or 7 plus 1, which is equal to 8 wholes, or 8 ones. And now I'm going to look at the fraction I have remaining, which is 1/5, and that's going to be my final answer, 8 1/5. So although 8 1/5 is the same as 7 6/5, it's important that we can turn it into a proper fraction in a mixed number. We're going to try 2 on our own on the next slide.